Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 36. And am I crazy? I just might be. Let me tell you about what's going on here. It's Sunday morning. What am I doing driving Sunday morning, not going to church? What's happening here? Well, church was canceled. And I don't know if you can hear the road over my ventilation system here in the car, but it is pretty rough out there. The church was canceled because there's a snow emergency, and I think I just might be crazy because this road is completely covered with snow, and I'm talking about inches of snow. I'm not talking about just a little bit of snow. There is a lot of snow on these roads, and but the thing is, there's a couple things happening today. I was supposed to go out of town with a friend of mine who's an AP, and we were supposed to head to a direction that he's never been before, so looking forward to that. And that was supposed to be early, like 2 o'clock today. I realized though that I do have a $50 free play at a casino, and it's not that close, but it's not terribly far away unless you're doing 20 miles an hour like I am right now. So I thought, man, it's a whole different direction. I'm not going to be able to play it. I'm going to lose that money unless I leave right now, since church is canceled anyway. I go, I play, I come back, have some lunch with the family, and then head back out again. So I cleaned off the car. We were supposed to get like half an inch to an inch of snow last night, and I went to bed a little bit late, maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was just rain outside. Woke up this morning, it looks to me like my estimate is going to be like 3 to 4 inches of snow, and I haven't seen the pavement yet on the roads yet. I mean, like, I can see the color of the pavement, but it's all covered with snow. So smart me, I decided to go ahead and go this morning. I have seen one snowplow so far. I'm sure they're all busy with the bigger roads. I'm already adjusting my route to go on straighter roads with less hills, even if they are a little bit slower, because last thing you want to do is be on a big turn at a high speed in the snow. So right now I am, let me put this fan down a little bit here now that I can see out my windshield. Right now I am heading to my first casino of the day, and I'm just going to play a little bit of free play. I'm hoping that the other advantage players haven't been there, because it's ridiculous and it's a snow emergency. Why are you out in the first place? So we're going to go play that little bit of free play. We're going to get some fuel on the way home, so we'll be ready for our trip, and then we're going to stop by the grocery store. My wife gave me a list of things that she needs, and she doesn't want to go out in this because she's not crazy. Whoa, that's yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Hopefully, as I head toward the bigger roads, they're more clear, because like right now it's pretty bad, and visibility right now I would say is about 300 feet, so it is not good. It's still coming down pretty hard, and from what I understand, the next 2 days are going to be pretty rough. Just as an update, I did catch up on my spreadsheet last night, and if all goes well today, if we are able to go somewhere today, if I don't say this is stupid, if we go somewhere today and I have at least one good session of blackjack, I'll actually be above zero for the year in blackjack. Right now I'm like minus 390, something like that, 360, something like that, in blackjack. So, you know, hopefully today will be the day we go positive for the year. I've never had a January that was negative in blackjack before, but, you know, whatever. I also updated the chart as far as slots, and last week was the first week in a very, very long time I don't know how long, months, maybe years, that I had a negative week in slots. I was like minus 100 in slots. And then all the crazy credit card stuff that I do online, I was around plus 3,000 last week. Blackjack was good last week. I think I made 3,000 on blackjack, 3,000 on the credit card stuff, and then the purchasing stuff. I didn't update it yet, but I think I made a couple hundred last week. I'm waiting for a lot of money to come in, and right now I'm waiting for a lot of accounts to settle before I go nuts. So that's what's happening right now, and I'm on a highway doing 35 right now. It's like a country highway, so it's like a 55-mile-an-hour zone, and it's coming down very hard, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. So it was a pretty rough journey to get to this casino, but I made it and everything is okay. I go into this casino and I check 2 machines. I go to check a 3rd machine, and I look up and the guy I'm meeting this afternoon is there. So I'm like, I kind of half thought maybe he would come because he probably has the free play also. He actually has a lot more than I do. So we walked around for a minute. I played my little bit of free play and just talked for a while, walked around, and I ended the session ahead $140. So plus 140 to start the day. He's got a car that needs to be charged, so we're going to head toward my part of the state, and we're going to charge his car, and then we'll either leave it at my house or at a Walmart or some kind of shopping area like that, and then we'll probably take off early, and that way we'll get home early as well. So that's going to be the plan for right now. Leave early, get home early. Hopefully the roads are good. I think most of the bad weather is through. The radar doesn't show any snow right now, but it is still snowing. So just going to take our time here, and I'll come back and let you know how things are going. But plus 140 at our first stop of the day. Alright guys, I am back. So so I forgot that I had to get some groceries for my wife, so I just stopped, got groceries, got fuel. I'm all ready to go. I'm heading home, drop off the groceries and everything. He's getting his car charged, and then we're going to meet at a Walmart, and then we'll just go from there. So it was a snow emergency when I left home, and now it is a higher snow emergency. So now it's emergency vehicles only on the road. So I want to get in and out fairly quickly and out of this area so I don't get pulled over for being on the road during the higher level snow emergency. So that's what's happening right now, man. Things, the roads look better, but I just talked to my wife and she said because the temperatures are going down, the roads are refreezing, so that's why they increased the emergency level. But I'm going to get this stuff dropped off, and we'll get out of town. So that's what's happening right now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back and just about to get back on the highway here. We went into this place and really didn't find much. Found a bunch of small plays, and we were ahead about $26, and I had this idea of playing this very borderline not great play, and probably shouldn't have done it. Actually, I should not have done it. Played that one through, and the funny thing is the machine next to my machine had the same play, but actually, well, I guess at that point I was already down a little, but he did pretty well on his machine, and variance was not on my side. So we ended the session down $374 on that one. So minus 374, should have just left ahead 26, but took a chance and it didn't work out. Right now we're going to move on to another casino. It's about an hour from here. The weather is much better here. Roads are perfectly clear. I don't think they got any part of that storm at all that went through where I live. So everything looks good. The roads are not dry, but it seems like pretty safe driving conditions right now. I did see a lot of people that I knew in there, and that didn't help things much, but overall, we're okay. We're going to move on to another casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, we are back, and we had quite a ride there. We looked at a few slots, didn't really see anything. We went to play some low-limit blackjack. We found a hit 17 table, which bit us in the butt a couple times because the higher table was full, so that's the only one that was really available. Sat down at the table, and there was one other guy at the table, and he looked like he was just some ordinary guy, and he says, "Oh, you can come in anytime you want." And I'm like, huh, that's interesting to say that. Usually you don't say that. And then the next shoe comes around, and the guy is counting cards. He was spreading from one hand at 25 to two hands at 250. And he spread early, like true two, he was max betting. So at the end of that shoe, I had a big up and down, and I was down like 175. I was getting ready to say, "Did you want me to switch tables?" And he actually colored up and left. So that was okay. So started the next shoe, and that shoe really went crazy. I think we went through a couple other shoes before it, but we went through a shoe where it went pretty nuts. The count got pretty high. So I went one hand at 25, then went two hands, one hand at 100, two hands at 100, two hands at 300, two hands at 500, three hands at 500, with my friend helping me out with that. And we had a big ride up and down, and we were rebuying and rebuying and rebuying. The pit boss kept coming around, and I think we had pretty good cover. I was explaining to the pit boss at the end there that my friend had never played before, because it's like every time there was any kind of deviation, he had to do it. And he's like a new player, and I had to tell him to do the wrong thing according to the book. Okay, it's 16 against a 10. I would stay if I was you. And he would stay, and I'd get the 9 I needed for a 21. That happened like 2 or 3 times where I got the exact card I needed to make my hand. And we were involved for over 5,000, like 5,400, and we ended up walking away with 4,100. A couple guys came to the table, and they were nice enough to stay on the sidelines while we finished out a very high variance, high count shoe, where the counts went into the true plus sevens and were above true 5 for 2/3 of the shoe, at least half the shoe. And then finally those guys got in. I stayed in, and then the count got too low. It was like a running minus 11 or something like that, like a third of the way through the shoe, and I ended up walking away. We were down a total of 1,300. And then my friend went and looked at some slot machines while I played some other blackjack and got on a okay table, was in there just a short time, and I was ahead 500, and it was very negative, and I decided to get up. So colored up and left, cashed out 2,500 at the high limit cashier and 2,100 at the low limit cashier. So we were down 800 for that spot on blackjack. And then I think he ended up winning. We're working together today. We're pulling some stuff together today. So about $30. So we ended up down about 400 each on the blackjack, and plus about $30 each on the slots. So not terrible, but not great so far. Not a good start to the day, but we're moving on to another casino. This one is kind of like a scummier casino, and there are some really terrible games here and a few good games, but they're more high limit. And then you have some carnival games where it's like this place was beat up so much by hole carders and stuff that They have some carnival games that are minimum 15, maximum 25. So that's the place we're at. If you know where I am, you probably know. So we're going to go into the next casino here and hopefully get this money back, and we'll go from there. So that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back, and we had an interesting experience, not hugely profitable, but interesting. Walk in, look at a couple slots, and then I go play blackjack, and my friend looks at machines. And blackjack, I chose this table, even though the dealer is slow, because he exposes his card quite a bit. So it's a whole card opportunity. And he really wasn't doing it that much today. He was doing it a little bit, but I really didn't get enough insight to make any extra money on it. I sit down at this table. It's me and two other people. I bought in for 300 originally, and there's a lady playing all the side bets. Well, the one side bet that they had, and she was playing everybody's side bet. So she'd give you $25 or $50 on each of your hands to play the side bet for her, for you. And she did hit a few times on mine, and I think she gave me like a total of $50 for doing that for her. But just overall, neutral counts, very slow dealer, not a lot of opportunity. I ended up spreading from 25 to 2 hands at 150, and just couldn't make any money. And I finally left at the end of a shoot plus 50, and I was just exhausted. I wasn't at that table long, maybe 30, 40 minutes, but it was just so exhausting how slow the dealer. I think we got 2 or 3 shoes in that time, so it was a very slow process. And I left ahead $50, and then played. We looked at some slots on the way out. We found a couple plays. One got us up 50, then we were about even, and then we ended up down $12 on the slots, so minus 12 on the slots. So that's what's going on right now. We're going to hit another area casino, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do next from there. This next one, I haven't played blackjack there for a while because I've been a little hot there lately. Been on their list, kind of, so I'll probably just look at slots there. Depending on who's there, maybe some blackjack, but not positive at this point. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, we are back, and we just finished up at the next place. I think I've recorded every segment so far, and it wasn't that great. We had a few ups and downs, but stayed around zero the whole time. At the end there, we had a machine that had our money and wouldn't give it up, wouldn't print out a voucher. That took forever for a technician to come over and take care of that. But I saw some people I knew in there. I had someone ask me to borrow money, which I said no while I was in there, somebody that I know. And overall, we ended down $13. So minus $13 at that place. And we're actually already at the next place. So we're going to hop in here and see what we can do. Hopefully make some money and turn things around for the night. So we're going to do that, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, we are back, and it's about 12:30 a.m. right now. We did travel to another casino, and we had some ups and downs there. Did not play blackjack, did play a lot of slots. We're up 350 or so. We were down 350 or so, and just went back and forth for a while, and ended the session ahead $56, I believe. So not much happening. Pretty much close to neutral the whole time. We decided that we're going to add one more casino, so we're going to go play some blackjack and hopefully pick up some cash here, because it's been awfully dry today. Had not much going on today, so I'm going to try to pick up some money and come back and update you. But this place had a lot of good machines pulled out, so there was a lot less opportunity. There were a few new ones, but just overall, just not much to play right now, just because everything's been played out and there wasn't a lot of customers there. So yeah, Sorry about the short updates here, but not really much happening here. We're driving a lot, we're waiting a lot, and we're looking a lot, but just not making a lot of money right now. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So went into this place and I went straight to the blackjack. My friend went to look at slots, and I started at a $25 table and worked my way up. Actually, I bought in for 300, and then 300, and then 300, and lost all that. And then the table was crowded, so I moved to a different table, started playing there. Actually, I only lost 600 on the first table, lost 300 on the second table, and moved on to a third table. And there were 3 tables open back in that area, and one of them had the cards spread on the table. The other 2 were in the middle of a shoe. So I went to that table, sat down, started playing, and that shoe, according to the dealer, he got 8 or 9 blackjacks. I got 1 blackjack on a min bet, so definitely was not a good start. And then I ended up with like negative 13 or 14 with quite a bit to go in the shoe, and I ended up switching tables, switched over there. I took 500 over that table, built that up to just over 2,000, and then things just, I couldn't keep things going. The counts would go up, and I would lose most of the hands. The counts would go down, and I would win a bunch of hands, but they're all at min bet, and the dealer's like, why aren't you raising? Well, because it's a negative count, and you don't know that, and I can't tell you that. So, there was a couple shoes where the only time I varied my bet was to raise it just a little bit, so I'm not flat betting the whole shoe. So it looks like I'm varying my bet a little bit at least, and there was at least a couple shoes like that. Overall, did not end up doing well. Ended up down 5,600, 5,700 on the blackjack, and I believe we lost some money on the slots as well. So yeah, that's the way that the day has gone. Bad variance from start to finish, but we'll turn it around, and we'll do that starting tomorrow. I do have one more stop I want to make. It's already 3 a.m. and I'm pretty far away from home right now, but we're going to make one more stop, try to make some money, and I'll come back and let you know how things are going. All right, guys, still continuing my trip home. It's 6:30 now. I just wanted to go over some things with you. One of my biggest concerns this morning was having someone go with me and then having them lose. I was worried about that. I didn't want them to lose. I wanted them to have a successful trip, and unfortunately, pretty much everywhere we stopped, we lost. We had a couple small pickups, and that was it. But that's part of the game, and we did split everything that we did, other than the first casino where I lost 300. We did not split that. I took responsibility for that one. So what was it like to have a ride-along? I normally don't do ride-alongs, just because, I mean, if it's somebody that I know and I trust, I like, I don't mind, but like a perfect stranger, it's kind of hard to do. You're carrying a lot of money with you. You are going places and doing things that just by someone being with you, they're learning something and potentially competing with you. And it's just hard. So I only probably do 2 or 3 of them a year. I like having the company, but it's just not something that I normally do. So it was good. It was fun. Good conversation. I wanted to say about the first blackjack session. That session was a crazy session. I basically did a 1 to 60 spread on that one. One hand at 25 to three hands at 500. And my friend knows how to count cards, and but he did not practiced, he's not well practiced in it. So I basically just made it like, once I get to a certain bet size, I'm gonna bet X amount, and then you're gonna do whatever, and made it pretty standard, very easy. And then if he had any questions, I was there to answer it for him, and it worked out pretty well. And honestly, I mean, we lost half of a top bet. That's it, half of a top bet on that table. And then the other table, that one was a little bit more cruel. That was about 10 or 11 top bets. So that one was a lot harder. We split it, so I ended up losing like 2,800 or whatever, but that was half of what we lost. So it was pretty brutal. And that one was like a slow drain. I mean, it's like lose 100, lose 100, lose 100, lose 100, lose 100, and it's like there was no end in sight. And I'm counting cards, but if the count's not there, there's not much I can do. And if the count's there and I lose, there's not much I could do. So we did the best that we could with what we had. I felt like the experience was good, but the result wasn't so great. So anyway, with that in mind, what did you eat yesterday, MW? Because it's now morning and the sun is coming up. So yesterday, before I left home, I had my wife made me what she calls egg roll in a bowl. It's basically cabbage, zucchini, and some kind of meat or sausage in a wok, and with the soy sauce and all that. It was pretty good. So I give that, and let's go with a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. And then with my friend, about 6 hours ago, we had some pizza, and it was pretty good as well. I asked him his opinion as to what he would grade it, and he said he would grade it about a 9. So we're going to grade it a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. Pretty good. It was fast. It was ready made, and then they warmed it up in the oven. It was all right. So that is that. And what did you tip today, MW? And I think you know what I tipped. So I don't know why you keep asking me that, but I tipped $0 today because I had a bad blackjack session followed by a bad slot session followed by a bad blackjack session. And I really wasn't much in the mood to pretend that everything was okay. And so, yeah, I tipped $0. Right now, as I'm continuing my trip home, I'm on a highway, but you can not hear a lot of noise because we're traveling very slowly. Should be home safe. Hopefully everything should be fine. The temperature has dropped drastically, so now all the snow, the ice, anything frozen that was on the highway is now one solid block. It is 14 degrees outside. So by the time I get home, I will most likely sit in my chair for a few minutes, take a shower, and head off to work. And that's really all I can do. Tomorrow's a new day. Today's a new day. And we're going to get back on the horse and keep doing our work and not worry about the outcomes short term. Worry more about long-term outcomes and what you're doing long-term. So that's it for now. I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.